Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Power Block, episode 196. I am one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan. Alongside me, as always, is that retro code, Eddie V.
I am becoming a hunter of monsters, and I'm loving it.
Nice. Ed, we have a special guest here.
Yes, we do.
We have Red Dead Redemption 2's most mustachiest NPC, host of Secret Friends Unite and co-op mode, Todd Oxtra.
Yay!
I do declare I'm a southern gentleman.
Oh gosh.
Not to besmirch the mustachio gentleman. Thanks, guys, for having me on. Thanks for having me on. Yes, this is awesome. Corey and I go way back. Eddie and I have met in person. This is awesome. You guys are part of the Geek Mafia that I love so much.
The Geek Mafia. Yes. Todd, like you said, we go way back. I'm really happy to have you back on a show. You know, it's been a while. It's been too long. I know we tried to do some co-op mode a month back, and schedules were just kind of all over the place, and just didn't happen. But we had Mark on about 6 weeks ago now, I think, and I was like, man, good opportunity when you chimed in and were like, hey, I'm gonna be on. I said, okay, let's do it.
Yes,
let's do it. Of course, Mark is soon to be a papa, so congratulations to Mark if that baby comes out before this episode posts. But but Todd, what have you been up to? For people who are kind of new to the show, since they're seemingly the last 2 weeks, there's been a lot of new influx of listeners because of our contest. Why don't you remind everybody where you are and what you do and the show you do?
Yeah, let's see. I do really two podcasts, but it all started with a Facebook group called Secret Friends Unite. Basically, myself and my college roommate from decades ago from Michigan State University wanted a way to keep in touch. We said, hey, let's form a Facebook group. We can talk about nerdy stuff, find like-minded individuals. That happened, and we said, hey, we want to actually talk to each other more frequently. So I said, let's do a podcast. So we created Secret Friends Unite. Silly name, stupid name. Some people think it's like a dating group, which is funny, and it's not. Sorry, guys. But we do a podcast all about comic books, fantasy, sci-fi, things like that. My co-host Charlie does not like video games, and I don't like cosplay. So we made an agreement we would talk about neither on that show. But because I like video games so much, I created co-op mode and recruited the Canardian, Mark Carabin, to be on that. And if we get lucky, gentlemen, we might have a baby born while we're recording this.
That's amazing. It's
Yay.
amazing. I remember. I'm gonna be real honest here. When my kid was born and I couldn't podcast for like 4 weeks, I didn't know what to do with myself. So, yeah, that's a true story. By the way, we are live on Twitch, and Badbit on Twitch says Todd is the person I aspire to be, and that mustache is epic. So,
Joe, I challenge you to grow a stash. We'll see if he takes me up. But he's got a better Red Dead Redemption accent than I do.
I mean, you got to trade one for the other, right? And you can't have both, I guess.
That's true. No.
Unless you're making that Rockstar money, then you can have all the stashes and accents you want.
Looks or talent? I chose looks, sadly.
We got to get Joe on one of these shows at some point, too. I've been meaning to reach out to him just haven't gotten around to it. So, sorry, Joe. But we'll get you in here sometime. But yeah, so by the way, this is a Nintendo podcast. If you guys haven't guessed, you should check out Secret Friends Unite and Co-op Mode, both on the same feed on iTunes, I know, at least. So definitely check it out. But this is Nintendo Power Block. Each and every week, Edward and I, as well as our friends from around the internet, come to you live right here on Boss Rush Games Live on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube to talk about the latest news, rumors, and releases, as well as your questions. If you can't join us live, no big deal. You can head on over to youtube.com/BossRushGames and podcast services every Saturday morning. Remember to like, subscribe, share, rate, and review, and check us out all over the internet and wherever you consume us. Remember, you can find all of our content on bossrushgames.com. Ed, episode 200 giveaway details. Let's break it down for everybody. We're giving away a Nintendo Switch Lite, a 256 gigabyte memory card, and two $50 eShop gift cards. This is to celebrate episode 200 in 4 weeks. Which is more of an appreciation for our fans for sticking around for 4+ years, 5+ years at this point, and multiple networks and challenges and changes and breaks and everything. So just want to thank everybody. So here are the rules. You have 3 chances to win. 1 entry. Send a screenshot of each of the following. All are required for 1 entry. An audio podcast subscription, which is Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, etc. A YouTube channel subscription, and a follow on Mixer or Twitch. 2, a screenshot of your rating and review on Apple Podcasts or podcast service of choice. Grants you a 2nd entry. And for a 3rd entry, follow and tweet at Powblock Podcasts, at I am Corey in HD, and at That Retro Code why you listen to the show, and a screenshot of where you are listening with the hashtag Powblock200. So
we've been getting some entries in.
Yeah,
so,
we've been getting a lot of entries. It's amazing. Surprise! You give something away, people are all over it. So
yes, everybody, you had those 3 ways of answering. Keep them coming.
Yeah, please keep them coming. Really, really excited for this. So episode 200 is 4 weeks away, Ed. 4 weeks away.
I'm preparing myself.
I'm really glad E3 canceled itself so we could celebrate episode 200 without some big game show happening.
Look, are you sure?
Yeah.
Because last week, going into the coming weeks,
I know.
So much coverage. But yeah, the actual E3 show, sad to see it go, not being held this year, but
it's all right. You know what is being held this year? Episode 200 of Nintendo Pow Block. So you can tune in that Thursday to hang out with us. But anyways, we're gonna start out with some news bits here. Just very, very light on news this week, so we can get to a bigger question block and what we've been playing section of the show. Our first news story, you can tell it's a slow news week when we're talking about Nintendo Switch Online. Nintendo is expanding their offerings on NES and SNES classics on the Nintendo Switch Online. So they're adding 4 games, and if this link would open, I could tell you exactly what they are.
For the NES, it's Rygar. For Super Nintendo, it's going to be
Wild Arms, Panel de Pon, and Operation Logic Bomb. So
yes,
there you go, guys.
Is that a Steven Seagal movie?
Yes, it's actually a Steely Dan song.
Oh, I love that even better. It was probably the theme song to the movie based on the game. Steven Seagal on bass.
Wow,
that's awesome. That's awesome. So I think the standout of this list is probably. Ed, I'll judge by your facial expression. Rygar on NES is probably the standout.
Not really. Depending on what territory you are in, because people who are in Japan got some different games. Rygar is a great game. One of Tecmo's earlier days. If you didn't know anything outside of Tecmo Bowl or Ninja Gaiden, they did that game based off the arcade game, because it was an arcade version of it. Wild Guns is surprisingly a very niche game, but a lot of people really liked it. I think PS3 got like a remaster version. There was
actually, just came out. Yeah, it just came out, Ed. It was on the Switch as well. Yeah, the remake, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and see, I've never got to play the original Wild Gun, so it was really cool to see it. The Pataba, that one is pretty much, if you guys have played is it Pikachu's or Pokemon's? It was the puzzle game on N64.
Pokemon Puzzle League?
Yeah, Pokemon Puzzle League. It's been that game. It's been Puzzle League. Um, the Puzzle League game on DS. Uh, and so this kind of game, it's been translated to so many different versions of games to it. But I'm assuming this is the original Japanese version of it. Um, and so I'm really interested to see it because I never got a chance to play it, and I never heard of the Operation one. I'm like, what in the world is this? But
I can read the description for you, Ed, if you really want.
Yes, go ahead.
Agent Logan has been fitted with bioelectric implants that grant him superior strength, reflexes, and analytical abilities. He's been charged with a mission to save the Subspace Particle Transfer Project. Now it's up to him to infiltrate, neutralize the intruders, and rescue the scientists in a top-down shooter with giant bosses and frenzied action that doesn't let up. This sounds like your kind of game, Ed. I don't know why you've never played it. Top-down shooter?
I've never seen it in the stores.
Oh, well, now you can get it with your SNES Nintendo Switch Online subscription.
Yes.
So.
They just saved you that $70.
Yeah, they did.
Wow. I can't say that I did beat Rygar in one whole sitting on the NES. So if people are interested, give Rygar a try. It's not too hard. You stick with it, it'll take you about maybe an hour and a half to get through.
No, it was great. The Rygar game on PS2. Absolutely love that game.
Yes. Because it was like the God of War kind of one.
Yeah.
In a sense. That camera was terrible, though.
All cameras are terrible on PS2.
Yes.
Ed.
Well, that's Tecmo. They were bad at cameras. But yeah, I do agree with you, Todd. I beat that game within a week. Like, it was challenging, but I did enjoy it.
Well, speaking of releases on Switch, this is a surprise news story not in the dock, guys.
Oh.
Journey to the Savage Planet makes a surprise landing on the Switch eShop today. Physical release en route. There's been evidence that Journey to the Savage Planet has been coming to the Nintendo Switch for some time now, and today 505 Games has finally made it official. Not only has it been confirmed for the hybrid device, but it is also out today on the Switch eShop. Well, everywhere but Russia, which will receive the game on the 28th of May. So, if you prefer a physical release, it will be released on the 25th of June. Indivisible is also receiving the same treatment. So, 505 Games drops Journey to the Savage Planet onto Nintendo Switch today. So, that's kind of exciting. Jesse and I actually just played that for What's This on Xbox Game Pass. And it's pretty cool. I have to say, it's pretty cool co-op. I don't know if I would play it by myself, but it's a really cool, unique co-op game.
I just brought it on Xbox One, like I think for $17.99. Because 505 Games had their sale on Xbox One, so I'm excited to play. I didn't know that it was coming to Switch.
Yeah, I mean it's been rumored for a while, but I mean obviously it's out, so it's there. So.
Yeah, it reminded me of Metroid Prime because it had a lot of scanning, first-person perspective.
There's a
kind
ton
of a goofy environment. Yeah, and it was a fun game.
Yeah, it's neat. I don't know if I would have purchased it. I mean, it's somebody's type of game. It's not my type of game. But I mean, if we wanted to play it on Game Pass or stream it all together at some point, like I would play it again. It's just like I'm not going to take time out of Control or Assassin's Creed or whatever else I'm playing to play by myself. But it was a cool game. It controls well. It's very colorful, very vibrant. Controls are good. So if you don't have Game Pass or something, and you want to check it out, I'm sure the Switch version will be great in 3 months when nobody cares about it anymore. That patch drops.
It's only like $30, which seems a reasonable price for a game like that.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot of games like that on Switch, so it seems like a good entry point. And
yeah.
And I think there are going to be some people who going to buy it next month on the physical. I think
sure.
Yeah. So, but that was a cool piece of news. I'm scanning websites as we read these news stories to see if there's anything else to talk about because, let's be honest.
Well, I know people who
when you lead off stories.
I know the people who got the wonderful 101, wonderful 101 on Switch. Some of their codes that Platinum sent them didn't exist.
Yeah, it
So
was like
they
a blank
couldn't
code.
get the game.
Yeah, I saw
Happened to
that.
Mark. Happened to Mark. He was like, "Yeah, that was a surprise, and thank you so much for letting me back your game when you gave me a blank code." But apparently, they took care of people, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
They put up a new help link. I've never seen anything like that ever happen. Like how
I think
how
it
do you
happened.
buy-
I think it happened with Mighty Number 9. I think people were getting not blank codes, but they were getting bad codes for Mighty Number 9. And like it was a weird situation where the backer codes were going out after the game was available to purchase. So I mean,
Wow.
not that that was like the only problem with that game, but you know,
Oopsie.
yeah. Whoopsie. Okay, so are you guys excited for Mother to be released in the United States? Huh?
It's already out
But-
in the United States.
Ed, you're messing up my joke here. Okay.
I'll bite. Yes, Corey, I am
Well-
totally excited.
A third official Mother entry to the franchise is being released in the United States, but not as you would think. An official Mother tribute comic has been revealed, and more news is expected to follow, with the trailer ending in "to be continued." At the end of last month, the company Hobanachi Shinbun, owned by Mother series creator Shigesa Ato Itoi. Yep, that's how you say it. I'm going
Keep going.
going with it. Promising various contents and goods before the end of 2020. Now, at the latest update, the Pollyanna tribute comic has been revealed. According to a translation on the Earthbound subreddit, the comic and illustrations in it were handled by 35 manga artists and writers. One of the individuals who worked on it is Toby Fox from Undertale. And then there's a bunch of screenshots on here of the comic, and it's very pretty.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Not exactly Mother 3, but first of all, I don't really care for Earthbound at all. And I don't
Really?
really care if Mother ever comes over. But I know a lot of people really want Mother 3. Is this the year we get it? You know, because there's not a lot going on, and it seems like a lot of Nintendo's games are going to be delayed because of working from home. And
It literally depends if him and Nintendo are talking, or if they are working on a port version to get this game out. Because, I mean, I think it's what, Game Boy Advance? No, not Game Boy. Was it Game Boy or DS?
NES and NES,
Super
right? Or no?
Earthbound came out on Super Nintendo.
No, I'm talking about Mother 3.
Oh, Mother 3 was... I think Mother 3 was supposed to be
think
Super
it was-
Nintendo. Because there was... there was that Mother N64 game that never came out. There was like a prototype for it, and it never came out.
But when Mother
Game Boy
3 came
Advance, published on the Game Boy Advance, Mother 3,
Mother 3, okay.
2006.
That's an odd
Wow.
platform to put a sequel, I guess. Well, I guess Nintendo's known for doing that if you go back to like Metroid and Zelda and stuff, but wow. Yeah.
Was
so-
that their last? I mean, I'm thinking Nintendo doesn't make a lot of traditional RPGs. They make variations of RPGs. Mario, Paper Mario was the original Paper Mario, I believe, or Mario RPG was Square, right? They developed it, and then the rest of the Fire Emblem. was,
Super Mario RPG was Square.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paper Mario
okay.
Paper
Okay.
Mario was straight Nintendo.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, but they don't make a lot of just traditional RPGs, turn-based. You know what you think. So this is kind of like their primary entry into that genre, which is surprising. I think a lot of people are hoping maybe a Mario game will go back into that range, but they just really haven't. So it's kind of interesting
I think
that there's an
Except-
opening, right?
a lot of
Except
people
for
are
Fire
hoping.
Emblem.
Oh, well, I mean that's still a tactical
tactical,
RPG
right?
though. It's not really a JRPG. It's
Oh,
got
for-
it's got JRPG elements, but it's more of a tactics game than anything else.
The Mario Luigi game still?
Yeah,
'Cause
I mean, that
would be JRPG.
yeah. I mean those are
Golden
the
Sun.
yeah. But when was the last time we
Golden
got a Golden
Sun was
Sun game?
published.
Yeah,
Golden Sun,
GBA days, right?
yeah, Golden Sun was published, but
Oh, it wasn't
by
produced
Nintendo, but it wasn't developed by them.
Okay.
Guys, if we say Golden Sun one more time, Ray Apollo's gonna bust through the wall behind Ed.
Like the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
not really, because Zelda is such a big franchise to Nintendo. Depending on how you see it, that was kind of their JRPG.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's more of like, it's still not exactly a JRPG though, because it's pretty action based. There's not like a traditional leveling system.
during that time when role playing games were coming out for Nintendo, it was considered as that, because you really only had Final Fantasy, Dragon Warrior, and The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah,
So
Maybe
those
Zelda 2.
yeah.
Zelda 2 had some interesting elements, right?
yeah, Zelda 2 would be a JRPG
An
because
interesting
of the
element in my trash can, because that game is not good.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, Corey, I love Zelda 2.
I feel like a lot of people fall on either side of that game. Like, you either love it to death or you just can't stand it. And I've
it's
tried
the
to play
least
it.
one on my list of Zelda games.
Man, I'd rather play the 3DO games. I think.
Crossbow training.
You already know people gonna be like, oh, yeah, me and you need to play that for the
I
retro.
know. I'm thinking.
So,
I'm thinking about it, but it will.
That
At
means
least,
I'ma
at
have
least
to-
you can play with save states, so that would take off some of the edge.
Yeah, that's.
but I'm the one that's gonna have to play it and struggle to
Yeah,
have
it
to
is.
that game again.
Don't worry, Ed. I'll pull up walkthroughs and walk you through it. It'll be fine. So
All those random battles.
yeah,
Everybody loves those.
Yeah, taking every 3 steps and then
that's why in
Exactly.
every Final Fantasy re-release they take them out. You have the option to take them out.
Fast forward and avoid.
That's why Final Fantasy VII only takes 15 hours to complete now instead of 60.
thank you, Bravely Default,
I know.
for for letting you choose how you want to do your battles.
I know, man. Bravely Default. What a great game that was at that time. So
But the demo's hard as ever. I was
Yeah.
just like,
yeah, well, you know. Anyways, our last kind of major news story here. Lego Super Mario is getting some power-up packs. These are just basically cool new ways you can build your custom Lego Mario. If this link will open. Man, my internet is slow tonight. Nintendo has announced via Twitter that a bunch of new Lego Mario power-up sets will be arriving alongside the previously revealed Lego Mario sets on the 1st of August. These small power packs will expand Mario's wardrobe options with a variety of suits from his games, including the Fire Flower, the Twirly Cap from New Super Mario Bros., the Cat Mario from Super Mario 3D World, and Mario Maker Mario. So they're cool. I think these Lego sets look pretty cool.
I want to see how quickly they're gonna sell out, like in stores.
I still want to see the it's Bowser's Castle, right? The big set
Yes.
is Bowser's Castle.
yeah,
I still haven't seen that. I still haven't looked it up. So
Well, I'm on Lego's page right now. They only have one thing that you can actually pre-order, which is funny. The adventure set, which is Mario, one of the Koopa kids, and it's $60 just for that piece.
Yeah.
Lego is expensive.
Yeah.
It always is.
And
Lego
you add
Dimensions, those
you,
pieces, what, $15 a piece for those little, character pieces and things like that. Character packs are probably going to be $10 a pop. Those Mario Power Packs.
Mm-hmm.
A castle, Corey.
the castle I think is $200. I think they already announced it.
What?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge though. It's like 4 feet tall.
For the cost of a Nintendo Switch
I mean, you
Lite.
got the Lego tax on there. You got the Nintendo tax on there. It's
yeah.
oh man.
So is there like an app or something that actually takes you, because it's kind of like a game, but is there something that actually takes you through it?
I don't really know. I think like I know a lot of the pieces are like battery operated, and there's sensors on Mario's feet that let you know what to do, but I don't know if that's connected to an app or like a some sort of software that you have to download. It's probably not just, it's Nintendo. It's probably not as easy as just downloading an app. You probably gotta, plug your Legos into some sort of 1950s electrical socket and
Wow.
get some bunny ears on there and have a rotary dial phone and call Nintendo.
Oh, I bet when the battery dies, you just have to throw them away and buy new.
I know.
Oh no.
Man.
Oh boy. This is problematic.
I did have this really interesting thought, though. We haven't seen a Nintendo Labo set in a while, and I wonder if Nintendo's partnering with Lego because Labo didn't do as well as they hoped it would.
I've got to imagine it is, yeah.
Because I know a lot of places actually have Labo on clearance for like $15. Like the big $80 sets are like $15 and $20 now.
I think they're just trying to.
I mean, it could also just be them diversifying,
expand.
but.
I have my Labo VR set still boxed. Have not opened it.
Oh, you mean you didn't try Breath of the Wild in VR, where everybody said you were going to throw up the first time you put it on?
I barely play my Quest, so
Wow.
That should be no. That should be no. I did look it up, Corey, in the link. It does show that you can get the Piranha Plant Power Slide expansion set for $30, and you can get the castle, Bowser's Castle, for only $100.
Oh, only $100.
So you don't have to sell your kid.
No. Well, I might.
Congratulations.
No.
Yes.
Just wait until she starts chewing on those things.
No.
Logan chewed on many a thing.
No, she's already started. Todd, you missed it. I was talking to Ed before we started recording. She plays with our remotes, and we have a TV remote for our Xbox, and she was playing around with it and turned the Xbox on and bought something for $24 on my Xbox just by pressing the buttons. And I don't know, like I went through all the games that I have downloaded. I'm like, because I don't know which ones are from EA Access, which ones are from Game Pass, and like ones that I've purchased. And it's just kind of, I was like, what game did she buy? I don't know. I can't tell. So all I'm hoping is that it's something good and something that I'll play eventually.
And I told them check his email because it gives them confirmation of what they bought.
Yeah.
Or by recent purchases. I assume you can do it by date. But short story or quick story about Logan. My son, when his grandparents were visiting, he borrowed their phone and bought like $75 worth of like power-ups in a cell phone game. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Perfect time. Kids are great.
That's awesome. Oh man, can't wait for a second one.
Wait, is there something happening, Corey?
No, I mean we've been we've had the conversation. It's about as far as it's gotten. So,
gotcha.
So, it.
Yeah, we had the conversation about 12 years ago. It didn't go anywhere.
It didn't go anywhere. Oh man. All right, well, that's all the news. There's nothing else interesting happening in Nintendo Land right now. So, but we do have a pretty decent-sized question block for you. Remember, you can email the show at nintendopaddleblock@gmail.com for your question to be read on the air. What, Ed? What?
Are we not doing the eShop drop?
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting. We added this segment like 3 weeks ago, and I keep forgetting it.
I keep stopping you. And then you're just like,
oops.
All right, so... Todd, basically, we're just going to read the games that are coming out this week in a very dramatic fashion. So this is the eShop drop for the week of, what is it, May 25th, 2020. Ed, as tradition dictates, you will go first.
yes. We have Minecraft Dungeons coming out May 26th. You fight your way through an all-new action-adventure game inspired by classic dungeon crawlers and set in the Minecraft universe. Up to 4 friends can play together, or you can brave the dungeons alone. Battle new and nasty mobs across action-packed, treasure-stuffed, wildly varied levels, all in an epic quest to defeat the evil Arch-Illager.
Yeah. Todd, would you like to take the next game?
Oh, I would indeed. Oh, wow. Shantae and the Seven Sirens, May 28th, gentlemen. Follow Shantae. She and her friends are invited to a tropical island to participate in the Half Genie Festival. During a performance, the other half genies in attendance mysteriously disappear, and Shantae must search the island and the sunken city beneath it to find them and uncover the reason for their abduction. Along the way, she runs afoul of a longtime nemesis, Risky Boots, and the mysterious rulers of the island, the Seven Sirens.
That was awesome. Ed, I need you to be more like that.
And then
I
once you
love
do
that
the next-
series. I love Shantae.
I bought it today because it's available for pre-purchase.
Yeah, I got the last one. What was the last one? Not half. Was it Half Genie Hero or was
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful
Happy New
animation.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm glad they went to that style.
Yeah.
Oh, love that game.
Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition comes out on May 29th along with 9,000 other games.
Yes.
Discover the origins of Shulk as he and his companions clash against a seemingly unstoppable mechanical menace. Wield a future-seeing blade, chain together attacks, and carefully position your party members in strategic, real-time combat as you journey across a massive world.
We also have Borderlands, the Legendary Collection, coming out May 29th. Get 3 times the mayhem, 3 times the loot, and 3 times the action with Borderlands Legendary Collection. Kill bandits and beasts, collect powerful weaponry, and maybe even save the universe in Borderlands. Game of the Year Edition, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the pre-sequel, along with piles of bonus add-on content for each game, adding 100 plus hours of gameplay at an incredible value.
Of course, something from Gearbox would say something about money in the game's description.
You love the Vita version. Come back for the Switch version.
Oh,
man.
wow.
You know what's funny? Every single one of these games is on sale on Xbox this week for like
Exactly.
I think the Handsome Collection is $10 and Borderlands 1 is like 17 or something.
And Minecraft Dungeons is going to be on Game Pass. So you'd almost like, Corey, bundle all the costs of these like retail for Switch and then see what they are on Xbox like next week.
Yeah.
Well, I know Minecraft is $20, so
Yeah.
for Switch.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad. That's not a bad price.
Yeah. So, Todd, you are up next.
BioShock, the collection, May 29th. Experience the unforgettable worlds and monumental stories of the award-winning BioShock series with BioShock, the collection. Journey to the cities of Rapture and Columbia across BioShock Remastered, BioShock 2 Remastered, and BioShock Infinite, the complete edition, including all single-player add-on content. Fight for your life and outsmart your enemies, be it deep beneath the waves or high above the clouds.
Todd sounds like a late 80s, early 90s movie trailer announcer. It was awesome. It's awesome.
In a world filled with tears in the rain.
I love this episode so much. XCOM 2, the collection, May 29th. Aliens rule Earth, promising a brilliant future for mankind while secretly hiding a sinister agenda. As the leader of a guerrilla force facing impossible odds, you must ignite a global resistance to eliminate the alien threat and save the human race from extinction.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to XCOM 2. I know it's available in 9,000 other places, and I'm currently playing Gears Tactics, but I could use another tactics game in handheld mode. So,
do they use the touch screen for the I mean, that game seems like it could work with a touch screen, but I'm assuming they don't.
I don't.
I not at this time, because they only. I know when they and the Nintendo Direct, that's all they announced that it was coming. But they didn't announce any gameplay features or anything for it.
I'm sure there'll be a patch at some point, because I know they said BioShock and Borderlands are getting motion shooting, like motion controlled shooting. So maybe XCOM will get touchscreen stuff. I don't know. But I mean, not even Fire Emblem had touchscreen stuff. So I don't know.
Apparently, there's an XCOM version on the iPad, so I assume it could work with it. Yeah.
I think I wish that first one was coming, to be honest.
Yeah, they just said the collection includes the game, 4 DLC packs, and War of the Chosen expansion. Yeah.
Yeah. So, any of these games stand out for you guys? Besides, I mean, I think the big one right now is Xenoblade Chronicles is the big Nintendo release this week. But Todd, you said Shantae was probably.
I think so, but Minecraft Dungeon looks great. I mean, it looks fun. Co-op, I will play it on Xbox because it's free, because I have Game Pass. But Shantae looks awesome.
Yeah, I think people are gonna probably pick up BioShock and XCOM. I don't think many people are gonna touch Borderlands because of the stuff with Randy Pitchford and
I just think everybody's
I don't know.
Borderlands out. I think everybody's had enough Borderlands. And
Is this
Yeah.
the first Borderlands game though on a Nintendo console?
yeah,
yeah,
See, I don't know. There's so many people that are Nintendo centric
yeah.
that often do not own any other consoles anyway. So maybe for them, they're kind of like, "What's this thing?" There's not
That's
a lot
true.
of first
Plus,
person
like-
shooters on Switch.
Plus,
they
like a grindy
were-
RPG would probably
Yeah.
people would be
Yeah.
into that.
They were going to buy it if they would have brought it out when they first announced Borderlands 3. And Randy Pitchford was talking when Gearbox had that conference. People was expecting Borderlands to come to Switch, so people were going to be.
This
buying
would have
it
been
there.
this would have been smart to release before Borderlands 3 came out.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, get people excited about it because they had that Borderlands the original remaster that came out before Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should have been like and this is coming out for Switch as well.
And I
Absolutely.
actually played. I had never played Borderlands before, which is a lot of people were surprised that I'd never played it because I love Destiny and those types of games, and I played about 10 hours of Borderlands, the Game of the Year edition that came out, and I really liked it. Like I think it's a great game. I mean it's kind of aged poorly in some respects, but it was still like a really really fun RPG, and the shooting mechanics are cool, and I liked it, but I already own all these games, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think we'll see. I mean, we knew that the 29th was a big time.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that 2K is releasing all of their games at the same time. I kind of feel like that's a weird decision.
That yeah.
So
I also question all of these. I mean, there's a lot of big games here, and I question, quite honestly, everyone releasing on the same day because we really don't have another big Switch game coming out until Mario Origami, and it seems like you could have had these paced out because there's something for everybody here, and some people will play all of these, and it's like, but I'm going to play Xenoblade because I'm a Nintendo fan.
The Last of Us 2 was supposed to be the game for May, until it got delayed and moved to another date because like The Last of Us 2 was leading, Xenoblade was following, and then everything else was following after Xenoblade. But because last moved, Xenoblade became the game for May now.
Well, now you got a 100-hour RPG, 100 hours of Borderlands, and a 60-hour tactics game to play before The Last of Us 2 comes out. So
Yeah,
there you
30
go.
hours of BioShock. Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Not exactly well-paced releases, because what's coming out next week? Puzzle Upon 2?
Yeah. So, it's...
You may be surprised that May just dropped.
I'm guessing so, yeah.
I mean...
Because there's a Wii game or PS2 game called Baroque that's coming to Japan Switch. But the game also came to Wii here in America, and a lot of people are excited about that. So we might see that in later Twitch.
Which means Eddie's excited about that game.
Yep.
I mean, I have it on Wii because it was there was a hack and slash kind of, I think, Dark Souls kind of style game, but a lot of people, it was very niche, but a lot of people are really excited to see. I'm excited to see it because this one is the original, so I think this is the PS2 version and not the Wii version. So it's going to, I mean, they just only announced it for Japan, and a lot of people are hyped for it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But that is the eShop drop for the week of May, what did we say, 25th?
Yes.
2020. We're going to get into the question block now, since I messed that up already 2 weeks in a row. Remember, you can email the question block at nintendopowblock@gmail.com or tweet at powblockpodcast for your question to be read on the air. Ed, you said you had one? Somebody sent you a question before we get into this list?
Yes. So, this question comes from Josh LeGroux. He's part of the World One podcast crew. He asks, thoughts on next gen and if Nintendo Switch is going to age well after that, after their releases. And we kind of answered this before, but we can agree that we're looking forward to Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 and whatever comes on those consoles. I think with Nintendo Switch is going to continue to age well because of the games. There are unique games coming out from first party to indie to third party releases, and even though a lot of the third party right now is ports, it's still that people are willing to pick up and play. When I was listening to Game Informer and Andy Mackerel, which just like it's not always about the graphics, it's always about the the games itself. You can have a beautiful looking game, but if the gameplay is junk, it doesn't make the graphics don't make anything about it. And I think Switch is a system that offers various graphics and art styles in games that appeal to a whole bunch of people, and the importance of physical still to people, because like limited run games, their business jumped because of Nintendo Switch, even with Nicholas and stuff like that. So Switch is going to be fine in the future. Yeah, we'll still get those big games on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, but that's going to still be a limited amount of games that people still buy on those systems compared to what they're buying on Switch.
Yeah.
I'm curious about what you guys think about this, and I think Eddie, you and I exchanged about this online, was the fact that I'm just so surprised. We had so many exclusive first-party game or third-party games that were just coming, like what was that one game? Red Dead, whatever.
Red Steel.
Was it Red Dead? Yes, Red Steel. We had what was that one game with the motion control and Capcom? Wiki and Zach.
Yeah, Zach Wiki.
And I'm just really amazed. Beyond Rabbids versus Mario, we have not seen like third party really said these are games that you can only get on Switch. Some are like time based, like that, like Octopath now, as Octopath is on other systems as well. But I was really hoping we would see more of these really unique third parties bring some cool titles that only can be done on Switch because they have unique capabilities. My concern is you're just going to get the big games from third party are going to be ports. You're still going to indies because those will still translate, but Nintendo's going to have more heavy lifting at the end of the life of the Switch because there's just going to be less surprises of things that are going to come there. I just think. But Nintendo's games have never really required a lot of horsepower, so I don't think it's going to really hurt Nintendo to do what Nintendo does. They've got such a big install base now. They can just keep bringing out games that are for their audience, and I think they're going to do fine. Plus, this isn't like the Wii U where they had so little at the beginning, and they finally brought out some games at the end. I think it's self-sustaining, and they're going to have a great life cycle for the next at least 3 years. So for Nintendo, that's a big change to have that long of a life in front of them. So I think they're going to be fine.
And I think Nintendo have developers that consumers and other players will support. Devolver Digital people will support on Nintendo. Just different indies and stuff. Like if even some of EA stuff, if they put Mass Effect Trilogy on Switch.
Oh yeah, everybody's gonna eat that up on Switch.
Yeah. You know, and it's gonna kind of be like, well, what if they put Anthem, let's say, on Switch to see? I think people would be intrigued to try Anthem because if they was intrigued to play The Witcher 3 on it, let's see how Anthem will run on Switch. Just a hypothetical. You know, I think a lot of people are willing to try stuff out more on Switch than with Series X and PlayStation 5 because of those. Sorry to say it, but I'm like, Series X and PlayStation 5 still have limited games that players are going to get. You know, they'll get their.
They're going to get the full back catalog though of PS4, and Xbox One. So I think I mean, that's why people are going to move forward.
With Switch, if you paid an extra $60, you got the full Wii U back catalog. You know, every time you wanted a game, you could just give them $60.
Exactly.
I'm thinking more of just new games coming to the system, not more of the backlog stuff.
But I think that's where we're going to see more excitement coming forward with new games. I think Nintendo, anything exciting is going to come from themselves personally. Anything from a third party, you're going to get old news, which to me, that's where I think that they're going to have a hard time going to the next from 50 to 75 to 100. they got some heavy lifting to do because everybody that has wanted a Nintendo franchise, they're all there now. So I don't know what you're waiting for, because quite honestly, everything that you're waiting for has already happened. So that's where I'm curious to see what they're going to offer to people that want, because there's already Mario Kart 8. So it's like if you get a new Mario Kart,
Yeah.
you've already had a Mario Kart to play. So it's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to buy a second Switch so I can play a new Mario Kart. No, you're going to just buy a Mario Kart.
Yeah, I think even though we've gotten a lot of I think a lot of the Wii U stuff that has made it over is almost. I mean, it is library filling for sure, but I think it's also to gauge interest in. Okay, well, now that it's on a platform that people like, can we make a sequel to this, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think Donkey Kong is a big component of that. I think a lot of people, last week during that Paper Mario reveal, they saw the Samus helmet and they were like, "Oh man, is Nintendo teasing Metroid? Like, are we getting a 2D Metroid?" And then there's that news about all the visual effects artists that they hired for Metroid Prime, which is like, I don't know what kind of game they're building Metroid Prime 4 to be, but it's going to have all kinds of explosions and I don't know.
It's a new direction.
Magic. There's going to be some magic happening in your Switch. But
I can say that with the added PC games coming to Switch, like Civilization 6 and probably hopefully Disco Elysium and stuff, and Return to Obra Dinn and stuff like that, if they continue to get also PC ports for those who are not PC gamers, they may pick it up on Switch.
That Civ 6 port is supposedly really good on Switch.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting new people though. I think you're getting people that are just going to buy new games on Switch. So
I mean, I think
it's just
people,
what can they add to Switch would say. I haven't bought the Switch based on all of these awesome games, but if they brought out X, I would buy a Switch. I think it's going to be families buying more Switches for their family.
Know what? I really think that's kind of hard for all three platforms. It's just like, what do you put out to get new people in to buy it? Because like
new IP, and I think we're going to see a onslaught of new IP. I think Xbox is going to have so many new IP because I think they've realized you can only milk Gears and Halo and Forza so long, and just like,
but the two biggest rumored games right now for Xbox is Fable and Perfect Dark, which is, I mean, like Perfect Dark's going to be reinvented, and Fable's obviously, we haven't seen a Fable game in 10 years at this point at least, but like, I still think, in terms of Switch, people that are going to buy new Switches are people. I think you're starting to see this now with Animal Crossing, where people are buying a second Switch for Animal Crossing. You're buying a second Switch for, to play Mario Kart, maybe co-op or whatever. Like, I'm really interested to see who's buying a Switch for Metroid Prime 4. Like, who's waiting for Metroid Prime 4? Who's waiting for a Breath of the Wild sequel? You know what I mean?
I didn't already own a Switch, I would say.
Right.
That's the problem, I think, because Nintendo is really, when it comes to a console or even most of their systems, they've peaked when they've been able to get a system under $100. I don't know if Switch will ever get under $100 to get to that threshold, like the DS.
But I mean, the Switch Lite is $200. I think that's a pretty. I think that's about as cheap as you're going to get.
It is, but like the PS2 got to like 100. The DS got to like whatever. So that's where I think the Switch has the hardest problem. And it's funny that the PlayStation 4 hit 108, and they're still selling for $300 and $400. To me, that is amazing, and that's just crazy.
Yeah, I think definitely with Pro and with Slim coming out, I think a lot of that is replacing the original version for some people.
Nintendo double dips more than anybody. Know that.
Yeah.
So you can't say that, people don't have three PlayStations in their house, but they will have 18 versions of the 3DS. Corey, how many 3DSs do you got?
How many have I had?
Have you had?
I think I'm on my fourth 3DS.
Exactly. So I think the PlayStation,
but
Xbox should double less.
To be fair,
so I think
the way my 3DS purchases went, I bought the 3DS when it came out, the small one, and then they announced the XL, so I upgraded to an XL, and then they're like, well, now we have the new 3DS, and I wanted to play Xenoblade Chronicles again, so I got that one, and now I just have a 2DS because I can't stand the 3D. So
right, and I'm not knocking Sony or Microsoft for doing the same thing that Nintendo been doing for years. I'm just saying that with those the number get to 100 for a PlayStation. For some people, they kind of like have brought a Slim or have gotten a Pro.
I mean,
have
I upgraded my launch one to a Pro when it came out.
I did too.
Right.
I did too.
And Sony just counts that as one of their consoles being sold. So that's all. That's pretty much all.
I mean, they're still selling a console. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And at that, like I said, the impressive part is they've been able to keep the price as high as they have and sold that many. Versus, like I said, the PS2 went down to $100, and the PlayStation even gotten close to that yet, which is amazing. Just like Xbox, I think Xbox is at 150, which I'm surprised they haven't gone down for that. But yeah, so I mean, Nintendo's good space. Believe me, they can coast and get to 180 million easy.
Yeah,
I think even just by bringing out more sequels.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely stuff that's not close that I'm excited for Switch, but like recently, I haven't even really touched my Switch recently because I've been just playing other stuff, and you know, Xenoblade will probably change that for a little bit, but you know, but anyways, we're gonna move on to our next question from Greg Osterman III. He says, "So excited for Todd to be on the show. I have a superhero game question. Do you think Nintendo could pull off what Insomniac did with Spider-Man and Rocksteady has done with Batman? What superhero franchise would you like to see Nintendo take on? And what superhero game would you love to see regardless of publisher or developer?"
That's very questionable. Because Nintendo questionable in the fact that Nintendo wouldn't touch American comics. They will mostly touch manga since they're really based in Japan. It's really hard because if I had to give them somebody, I would give them Teen Titans. I think that's up their alley to do something with superheroes. I think it'll fit their image. I think they'll make it funny. I think they got a team that could do it. They could. I mean, would that be more platinum? But I think like Monolith Soft or maybe their Fire Emblem team or Intelligent Systems, maybe they could do it. You know, it's really a hard question to answer when it comes to superheroes, because we're thinking American, give it to a Japanese company instead of them looking for something like that, because they wouldn't be able to do something like Batman or Spider-Man. Nintendo doesn't have that kind of history. If they had something very popular with manga or something, then yes, I could see them doing something like that. Maybe like I could see Nintendo doing something like Sailor Moon or Inuyasha, like that.
Sailor Moon game would be cool, actually.
Yeah, and Nintendo being a family-friendly thing, of course, they would tone it down. But I think they could take something that's anime or manga that's really popular in Japan and kind of have a fan base here in America and in Europe, and really do something cool with that. Like that's my guess. Or the people who did the Icarus game, Kid Icarus, the second game, maybe they could take something. But yeah, it's really hard because we're thinking of American superheroes and not manga. So, but if I had to say, Teen Titans would probably be the only thing for me.
Good pick, Ed. That is a fantastic pick. It fits their sensibilities. You've got Teen Titans Go, the original Teen Titans. I mean, they're larger than life, fun based. They are goofy. I think that's the perfect pick. And you know, yes, Nintendo has not really done that. The closest they got to superheroes was with Wonderful 101, which they co-published, and then they left for dead and then said, Platinum, you can do whatever you want with it, which is hilarious to me. It's like, yeah, we love this game, and it was a lot of buzz on the Wii U, so I could see that. Power Rangers-esque type of thing. Why not?
Yes.
That could be a good team up. I mean, it's kind of superheroes-like. The closest thing to have superheroes with Japan are My Hero Academia. It's an academy of superheroes. They've had some games, but maybe if you made a game that was more along the lines of action RPG, something like that, rather than a core fighter, that could work. But you know, maybe if you want to do something superhero based that's American, that could work. I mean, Spider-Man would have been a good fit, but you know what? Aquaman needs a redemption. Nintendo can make good water levels. Mark loves Aquaman, so I say Aquaman. You can ride a dolphin. Think about that. I mean, Mario underwater levels, they know how to do it. I say Aquaman.
Okay, so can I say Iron Fist if they get Platinum to do it and Nintendo publish it? Does that count?
Absolutely. Like if they, because they've done Legend of Korra or Avatar. Why not?
Wow. Hey, they did Ninja Turtles. So,
Corey, what do you want?
Man, I don't even know at this point. Everybody's kind of got great answers. Like, I mean, regardless of publisher or developer, I want a really good dark Ninja Turtles game. That's all I want.
That's a good idea. They're superheroes. I mean, comic book characters. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, I think Ed and I have talked about this. I think Todd, maybe we've talked about it at some point too. But like, I want like a Batman Arkham style Ninja Turtles game where, Krang's minions or Shredder's minions have taken over the sewers, and like you make a 3D Metroidvania style game out of the sewers, and like maybe you go up top to get intel or whatever up top for the city. But like, I just think there's so many unique and cool villains that you could do with Turtles that who would I want to develop it? I mean, Rocksteady's pretty decent at the superhero thing at this point. I don't know. I kind of want the combat to be a little bit faster though. So I don't know, but I mean, that's what I want as more than anything is a really good dark Ninja Turtles game.
Give Nintendo Batman Ninja from the animated movie that came out. Let's see. Maybe Nintendo could get Treasure to do something.
They probably could.
Like Silver Surfer or something, or win a shooting game, or heck, Nightcrawler. Is it Nightcrawler?
Nope, I changed my mind. You know what I want? Remember Project Hammer?
Oh yeah.
I want a Hulk game with.
Hulk!
I want a Hulk game with the motion controls from Project Hammer.
I thought you were gonna say Thor.
I thought you were gonna say Harley Quinn because Hammer.
I mean, that could work too, I guess.
Well, I mean, Nintendo has Ultimate Alliance 3, right? So they kind of have a Marvel game inclusive. Yeah.
Which I think that would probably be cool if Nintendo really, instead of having a Tecmo Kobe doing the development, really have someone in their in-house studios do something with Marvel. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
That may be the only. Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Well,
Retro's not doing anything, right?
That's fair. It's true.
As far as we know.
Wow. Our next question comes from D'Angelo Garcia. He says, "Hey dudes, I honestly only subscribed because you were giving away a Switch Lite and my kid wants one, but I actually have to admit I like what I'm hearing and went back and listened to the last few episodes and am having a blast. What are your 3 must-have series on Nintendo when you go to buy the next system?"
Are these real games or are these games we want series?
I guess like if we're gonna go buy a new Nintendo system, whatever they put out, what 3 series are you gonna have to know are on the system either at launch or coming soon to buy the system?
So I'm going to avoid the obvious Zelda, Metroid, Mario. That's all a given. I kind of want to see what I want to see. I want to see a Eternal Darkness sequel on there.
Ed, you stole mine, damn it. Kudos to you, sir.
Yeah, I want to see Kid Icarus on there.
Yes.
And I kind of would love to see Wario come back. Like, I want his series to be back.
Like a WarioWare? Or a Wario World? Or Wario Land?
Wario Land. Oh. Something like that.
I thought you were talking something.
Well, you know what? Todd? I'm taking ED off. Because I gotta have a Yoshi game on Switch.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Wow, that was quite the flip flop. You go from Eternal Darkness, a psychological horror game, to Yoshi's.
Absolutely.
Paper World, I guess, would be the next one, right?
No, you may be right.
I don't know. I guess Yoshi's Story was already that, but whatever. What about you, Todd? Eternal Darkness, I guess, would be one.
Yeah, that's definitely one. I mean, it's the series that are it's the game that I think Nintendo did some really cool things. Dennis Dyack is doing nothing. He's available. Bring him back. And I think they could really, with today's graphics and the way they could play with different technology, would be perfect. I mean, it's such a different type of game, but especially as we're seeing the excitement of like Resident Evil remakes, it would be perfect for that type of series. And I would love it on Nintendo to see them branch out and be more adventurous in the adult market. But I'm going to go dark with pairing to that a series that has not seen the light of day since the NES, Gumshoe, a detective series investigating. Team them up with Detective Pikachu. I don't care, and they can solve mysteries. If you don't remember Gumshoe, it was a light gun game where you shot the detective as he tried to jump over things. It was so weird and wacky. But Gumshoe, come on!
Wow, this looks like a really
more mature games.
This looks like a really sad Mario knockoff.
It kind of is. And I don't say it was, but I just think it's kind of funny that they've got all these weird old things they tried on the NS and they haven't gone back to them. So I say Gumshoe, but turn it around, make it a like a adventure game where he has to solve a mystery, and if things get dangerous, you kill him with your Joy-Con.
I mean, why couldn't they do like a Professor Layton style game with that?
They definitely could. I mean, he could be the investigator for Professor Layton,
Yeah.
I mean, he could basically be the one that they hire to get all the dirt on, find out if they're sleeping with the wives of these people. So yes, I say it's a mashup. There you go. Bring back Gumshoe. Then I'm gonna go to a little bit differently. So, there's a series of a game that we all love, but I don't think we've ever seen a proper implementation on it since the NES, and that's Excite. It's Excite Bike. I mean, come on. You've got all these tracks. Well, Excite Truck, yeah, kinda. But you can make your own tracks, like a racer. I mean, I guess it's not. Don't make it the same as like a Mario Kart, but I mean, it could be a lot of fun. But make this like, instead of, if there's not going to be a Nintendo Universe type game through Mario Kart, make this the game that incorporates all of the Mario universe and all the Nintendo universe into Excite Bike. So you've got Zelda, you've got Kirby, you've got Pokemon, you've got everybody driving motorcycles. You can have sidecars, having fun, making tracks. Bring it back.
I mean, they got Labo to do it like that, but then everybody be like, we get a Excite Bike, then we want Wave Racer. And so it's just like,
hey man, I would really love a new Wave Race. Don't tease me, Ed. I need that.
But dang you, Todd. I want a Excite Bike now.
At least you didn't say Pilot Wings, Ed.
I tried Pilot Wings. That can stay wherever it's at.
Exactly.
You
want Pilot Wings?
It's in a drawer left in Reggie's old desk where they just burned it out back. I mean, the obvious one for me would probably be Zelda. I couldn't imagine buying a Nintendo system without Zelda, but I think Pikmin, like, I really love Pikmin, and I'm actually quite shocked we haven't gotten it on Switch yet, and I know the Pikmin Deluxe rumors are out there. But, like, I want, like, a Pikmin 1 style Pikmin. Like, Pikmin 2 was a cool kind of co-op experiment thing, and Pikmin 3, where you had to manage, is more of a resource management RTS than just, like, a proper... Pikmin, you take your Pikmin Go and find batteries and whatever, and I love Pikmin 3, but I want that Pikmin 1 style. You're alone here, and you're going to go explore, and you're going to rebuild your spaceship, and you can leave the fruit mechanic in there, though. So that HD fruit, you've never seen a better bowl of fruit. Just saying.
Can we kill off the night-day cycle? That drove me nuts in Pikmin.
Well, they took that out in 2, but they re-implemented it in 3, so... Yeah, I don't know. I agree with you though. I just want like a world to explore where there's no time limit, and I understand that that's part of the sense of urgency that you have, but like I don't need a sense of urgency in Pikmin. It's not. I would really just love the world to explore and just find secrets and stuff as I explore. Kind of Breath of the Wild, really just make this big open world and explore.
even if they do have a time cycle, don't attach it to any days. Just let the cycle happen and let you
Sure.
explore as long as you want. Because again, Pikmin 3 is just too beautiful to have it limited like that. It's just like, no, I want this nice, beautiful world, and I want to see how detailed you guys get.
Yeah.
That water still in Pikmin 3 looks good though. Yeah, but yeah, according to fruit, I was just like,
Yeah.
I want that apple.
Yeah, when they were first showing screenshots of like the fruit, and I was like, "What's happening here? How are you making good looking fruit?" You know, so. But the other, what was the other game I had in mind? Oh, like a Wario. I would like to see a WarioWare versus Nintendo Land mashup type thing, where you're kind of like, competing in these WarioWare style games, but like doing other weird stuff as well. Because like I thought Nintendo Land was pretty. I mean, it was fun for about a half hour, and then never played it again. But I thought like the games in there, if they just had like a little bit more something to them, I think it would have been a lot cooler. It could have been their Wii Sports, but it just wasn't. So, also Fire Emblem. So I mean, I know that's 4, but I broke my own rules.
Arms X Punch Out.
Yeah, why not? I'm still shocked that Little Mac was not a DLC character in ARMS.
Absolutely.
I still can't. They missed that. So, all right. Our last question comes from your co-host Todd, Mark Carabin.
No coincidence.
No coincidence. What's an N64 game or franchise that you think deserves a Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake treatment? Bonus points if it's not Mario 64 or Ocarina. Man, I have to think of all the Nintendo 64 games. I think...
Is it just first party or all N64 games?
He just says N64 games. How about Turok? Bring that back.
Did they redo that?
They already did it. Yeah.
It was an HD texture pack. It was not really a remake. I want a Turok in the vein of Doom.
Ooh.
It'd be awesome. Fast paced. Instead of demons, you're shooting dinosaurs. Just saying.
I see that.
That by the way, that Turok game that came out for PS3 and 360, pretty terrible. But it was a cool premise where you were like, these kind of like Predator style Marines out there in, kind of lost in this land, and you had to survive and kill dinosaurs. Cool premise, not well executed, really, at all.
For me, it's kind of a 2-game thing, so I apologize. Mischief Makers and Sin and Punishment.
Oh wow, you're going treasure deep.
Yeah, Ed's a big Treasure fan. I think, Sin and Punishment. I'm surprised that hasn't made some sort of, comeback. I mean, not necessarily as like a linear on-rail shooter, but like, Sin and Punishment could be like a cool action RPG. I feel like. So.
Pretty much Astral Chain in a sense, like
pretty much, yeah. Okay, gentlemen, I think it's time to get serious. There was a little game that was keeping Star Wars alive, and that was Shadows of the Empire. I mean, it really showed what you could do with a character as esteemed as Dash Rendar. Come on. He's your dime store Han Solo. Make Shadows of the Empire come back. HD, beautiful, awesome.
You could throw in Rogue Squadron in there too.
Absolutely. Make it a mashup. Absolutely.
Yeah. But, by the way, can we just talk about how good Rogue Squadron is for a minute?
Oh my goodness. It's amazing. That team, last game that they made in HD was, what was that Dragon game on PS3?
Lair?
Oh, goodness gracious.
They're so talented, and they try to do dual sense or whatever that was called.
You know what's funny? I was listening to an interview with him, and they were working on a Rogue Squadron trilogy HD collection for Xbox 360, and we're going to use the Xbox Live to have online dogfighting multiplayer. And you would play through all 3 games, and they were going to remix the whole game to where like all the levels from 1, 2, and 3 were in order from the games. So I was, when they said that existed, and it was originally pitched for the Wii, and there's actually a Wii prototype out there that you can look up where you would use the Wii remote as like a flight stick or whatever, and then they moved it to 360 because they wanted to use the power of Xbox Live to do multiplayer stuff. So, rip Rogue Squadron. Hey, they brought back Episode 1 Racer. They can bring back Rogue Squadron, right?
Is that out now, or is it still delayed?
It got delayed.
We got delayed.
Is that a remake, or is it just a port?
I think it's just an HD port.
Okay, so
Like the,
beautiful, ugly textures.
Yep. Hey, as long as I can see more than 5 feet in front of me.
Wow. Hey, it's ET in the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember playing that game on Nintendo 64, and that was just a terrible time. Because, like, N64 famous third-party games were with the fog of war in there, and you couldn't see. Turok was really famous for it, too, where you couldn't see, like, 10 feet in front of you. And when you're driving a pod racer at 500 miles an hour, you really need to see more than 5 feet in front of you.
And the analog stick, if you looked at it too hard, would break off. Oh, it was like a toothpick.
It's fair. Also, I think I broke 3 Dreamcast controllers playing that game too.
Oh.
Wow.
How? By pressing the triggers too hard. Those Dreamcast controllers are crappy, dude.
Yeah, they are. They're like Fisher Price made real.
Yeah.
They must be
I actually think my kid's Fisher Price fake controller is more durable than a Dreamcast controller. So, but that's actually that's gonna do it for Question Block, and that's gonna do it for the episode of Nintendo Power Block. Todd, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Why don't you remind everybody where they can find you?
Sure. Secret Friends Unite. We have a podcast. We have a Facebook page. We have a Facebook group. You can find us on all podcast services. If you like comic books, Secret Friends Unite, the podcast. If you like video games, Co-op Mode, where we sometimes have guests. We've tried to have guests in the past. We'll have guests in the future. We'll see who comes on. We may need to recruit some hosts as Mark becomes a baby daddy. So we'll see how it goes. But thanks for having me on, gents.
Yeah, it's awesome. Always a good time talking to you, Todd. Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatVertigo and check out Optional Opinion on SoundCloud and other podcast apps.
Yeah, and you can find me at IamCorianHD on Twitter and Instagram, and CorianHD on Twitch and Mixer. You can also find our family of shows on BossRushGames.com, which includes the Boss Rush Podcast, Arsenal X, the Xbox Podcast, and launching this week, Expansion Pack, which hosts our 1v1s, our standard definitions, and just random conversations we decide to have. So check that out. And remember, you can go to bossrushgames.com/subscribe to watch our show live on Twitch, or subscribe to your podcast service of choice. And I want to thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Todd, thank you for joining us. And until next week, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Woohoo! Bye-bye.